Your mission is to simulate the transient effects of a power failure stopping both pump 1 and pump 2 at 1 a.m. without any surge protection applied to the system. This will be your first transient scenario. It is one that examines the system experiencing a power failure with the maximum pumping rate going to the summit tank. Yet we are not quite ready to do that simulation. Looking back on the case study to date, we have built the steady state model, we have simulated the real-time hydraulics, which really are a set of steady state events, and we have browsed their hydraulic results. Note, for a transient scenario, we can choose to use any of the events in the real-time simulation as the initial steady state for the transient event. This is a good time to emphasize why browsing and understanding the real-time hydraulics is important. Initial steady state hydraulics form the starting foundation for transient analysis. If the steady state hydraulics do not represent your intended starting point, or they are wrong for some other reason, your transient analysis will be wrong. So far in the case study, we haven't set any of the parameters that are specifically relevant to transient simulations. Consequently, before we can achieve our mission, there are several aspects of the model which need to be set to create the transient scenario we want to analyze and browse. Here is a list of the parameters we need to check or set before we run a transient simulation. Simulate the required initial steady state. Set transient simulation times and browsing parameters. Set the required surge actions for pumps and control valves. Set the valve response times for non-return valves and any automatically controlled valves. Set the moment of inertia for the pump sets. Select the components and parameters we want to see as surge traces. So let me do step 1, create the required real-time simulations. We will use 1 a.m. for this scenario, plus we will use 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. for some later scenarios. So in edit mode, I'm going to the global edit button and selecting the general tab, which is already open. Setting the starting time to 0100, 1 a.m. in the morning. Setting the length of the simulation to 2000 hours. Using 20 hours so that we have enough time to reach 8 p.m. as well as 1 a.m. Clicking the Save button and the OK button. Clicking the Simulate Mode button and clicking Simulate Hydraulics.